In this session, I'm going to be covering the policy report. If you need more information on the policy, please refer to the video on linking a policy to a pop-up. To pull the report for a policy, in CLA you click on Reports, you click on Policy Report. Your policy report screen will open. Basically what you need to do is define the date range that policy ran within. So if you know that it ran sometime in the last month, you're able to take your effective date back a month. And this drop-down list over here will give you all the policies that ran in that time period. So within the last month, since the 1st of December, we have only had one policy run, and it was entitled the COVID-19 vaccination policy. You select the policy that you're wanting to report on. You then need to define whether you had targeted at user level or at machine level, or if you had a combination of both users and machines targeted. So if I click on users, there is three different options. There's your generate report function, which I'm going to use first, which basically opens up a visual summary and detail of that policy results in CLA for you to be able to navigate through and browse through. When the report generates, you'll see it has given you the number of users that are targeted with a summary at the bottom which says there were 1,441 users targeted, 629 were outstanding, and 812 completed this policy acknowledgement document. It also gives you the summarized detail. By clicking on the little plus, you are able to see a whole lot of information summarized in this table. So for instance, the count that clicked the pop-up, the count that dismissed the pop-up, and you would be able to see the results summarized in a table. If you're wanting to see who was outstanding, you would be able to click onto the red slice. It's going to drill through further and list the users and their corresponding status on CLA for those that did not complete and acknowledge this policy. If you're wanting to go back to the main pie chart, you click on Back to Parent Report. And now you are able to click into the green slice to see the responses that people gave on this policy. So once they had read the policy, dependent on which radio buttons you had given them, in this case we only gave the users the option to say that they have read and understand the policy. You would be able to have multiple options. Maybe I need more information, I do not accept this policy, and then you would see the breakdown of those responses in this pie chart. It gives you the number of responses in a table, as well as the detailed responses. If you click on that little plus, you would be able to see which user, which machine, what did they respond, and what was their response date and time. You are also able to click through onto the pie chart, and it will give you a list of the responses for that policy. If you are wanting to have all of this information in one document that is exportable to Excel, so if I were to export this to Excel now by clicking on the export button, it would only export this page of information through to Excel. If I generate this report for export by clicking on that Generate for Export button, it will now generate the same report. It looks exactly the same. It may take a little while longer, but you click Export to Excel. It's going to ask you to choose a place to save it on your PC. So I'm just going to navigate to my folder called Policy Reports. I'm going to give it a name and click on Save. When I open that report in the location that I saved it, policy report is going to open in Excel. Right, you're going to have your little pie chart that summarizes the information. You're also, in the extreme left-hand side, going to have your pluses. So if you are going to want to see the summarized detail, you are able to expand the pluses. It will give you the grid that you saw. It also, on separate tabs within the same document, will put your completed responses along with that detail. By clicking on the pluses, you would be able to see when a user responded, what their response date was, time, what their response was, which machine they were sitting at, as well as a summarized list of outstanding users as well. So all the information gets exported into one Excel document, which you can then use as you wish. The final way to run this policy is to run it as raw data only. So you would tick on Show Raw Data Only, generate the report, and this is going to give you the same sort of information, but just in very straightforward tables, your summarized info, your completed responses, and then also your outstanding responses. If this is exported to Excel, I'm just going to name it, choose the location that I want to save it. Click on Save. If I open the raw data report from the location that I saved it in, it's this one. You'll see, rather than putting the multiple tabs, it is just going to have the completed responses, and then if you scroll down to the end of the completed responses, it's then going to have the table of outstanding responses as well. So all of the information in one document, one line per user with their corresponding response. So very quick recap. To run the policy report within CLA, you click on Reports, you click on Policy Report, select the date range that policy was active within, click on the drop down to select a policy that you're wanting to report on, select whether you targeted users, machines, or both. So in this case now I'm just going to click on both because I'm not sure whether I targeted users or machines. And you select the report that you're wanting to run, whether you're wanting to export the graphical pie chart report or whether you're wanting to run the raw data report. In this case, because I had targeted users and no machines, the both option does bring up a blank block for machines, but that's because I didn't target any machines at device level. I targeted at user level, but it will give me the breakdown and it will give me the summarized details of my users, which will have information in, as well as my machines, which in this instance is going to be all zeros, as I did not target machines for this policy.